Hey guys, Ultimate Deadpool here. For those of you who saw my last video, everything is going smoother. So without further ado, we have 6 figures in front of us. Only 4 of which are the same. The other 2 are different. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm pretty sure I covered this version of Spider-Man in an earlier video, but if I didn't, here he is again. This is my first ever owned custom designed Spider-Man. Um, He's got the modified Batman legs, Moon Knight body, and custom arms, as well as his backside. This version of Spider-Man is going to appear in a few videos. Expect him to appear more often than all of the other ones that are in this video, simply because he's just closer to the comic books than anything else. So on to the next Spider. Alright, these next 2 are the exact same suit. So don't get this confused with Venom. This is not Venom. This is a stealth version of this suit. So if you see this version of Spider-Man, expect it to go black at some point. But all he has to do is hit the spider on his belt, and his suit will change to blend in with his environment as sort of like a stealth Spider-Man noir style suit. So they are both the exact same design, like I said earlier. The only difference is it's just a color change. This one represents the comic books as well as the PS4 Spider-Man game, which I still have not played. He's got the same legs as the previous Spider-Man, same arms as the previous Spider-Man, but his back represents the comic books just a little bit more than the last Spider-Man. And then he also has a superior Spider-Man head that was modified to match the rest of the costume. Then he's got the same, a similar body to the previous Spider-Man, but with a white spider, darker belt, and a red spider on his belt buckle. These 2 versions of Spider-Man will appear in a few videos. Most likely will appear in the end of the world video thing that I have planned. So expect to see these 2 in that particular series. Alright, this is the next version of Spider-Man. The webs are way better than the last 2 versions. They're more spread out, and there's not as many. The last 2 don't look bad, but this one matches the masks a little bit better, simply because the webs are more spread out, and there's not so many of them, so it looks more complete. Same thing as the last time. He's got the same legs, a modified Moon Knight body, custom arms, and a back. Now the back is actually my favorite part of this figure because of his spider on his back. So that's just me though. So this version of Spider-Man will probably be appearing the most out of all of these that you've seen so far, simply because he is the most comic accurate. And his posability is unbelievable with the leg prints on there. So that's one of the main reasons why he would be the most used. So on to the next Spider, but it's not actually Spider-Man. Okay, this is going to take some explaining. This is not actually Spider-Man. Yes, I know it looks exactly like a Spider-Man, but this is a character called Agent Spider. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's more of like a mercenary type character. And I'll probably do a quick little origin for him sometime next week. But he's got a modified Spider-Man head that's not Scarlet Spider's head. But his head, it's a modified Spider-Man head. All I did was literally just take the webs out. He's got another custom Moon Knight body. This is a little bit more simplified than the previous characters that I've made out of Moon Knight bodies. His is a lot more simplistic because I didn't want to completely knock off Spider-Man, but and that's pretty much what's going to be as a joke at some point in the future. But this is basically just this without the webs. So It's confusing, I know, but just bear with me for it. He's got a small black spider on the center of his chest. These two color reds are different. It doesn't look different on camera, but trust me, it's there. And then he has a dark blue body, not black. I know it looks black on camera, but he's got the Dark Knight Bane leg prints. Unfortunately, I did have to shave part of them down, so that way he could have mobility in his legs. But there's no webs on this character at all. He's got modified Ant-Man arms. Those are not Spider-Man arms. Those aren't anything else. They're Ant-Man. And then on his back, you've got the basic, Moon Knight design, heavily modified yet again. So expect to see Agent Spider in a couple of videos. He's probably going to appear in more of Gravity Man characters and stuff like that. If he doesn't, it's going to be, strictly Spider-Man fights and stuff like that. So like I said, he's not a bad guy, but once I come up with an origin story, it'll make sense. But basically what I'm aiming at is he's just somebody trying to support a family type thing, which I know is a very heavily used villain motif, but it's really not a villain, so yeah. Anyway, on to the next character. Okay, before anybody says anything, yes, this is an actual version of Ghost Rider. For those of you who don't know, this is supposed to be Ghost Rider 2099. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work out the way I had hoped. Mostly because I don't know a whole lot about I've been saying Spider-Man for the last 6 minutes now. That's all I can say. I don't know much about Ghost Rider 2099. I do know that I believe he was I can't remember correctly, but I want to say he was some kind of serial killer or whatever who had a second chance or whatever and signed up to this Project Ghost thing for the government, and it ended up turning him into a metal Ghost Rider or something like that. And he can convert his hands into a chainsaw and a couple of other variety of weapons. I thought the chainsaw was cooler, so I just decided to take an actual Lego chainsaw bit and grind down the middle of it so that way it could fit inside a minifigure arm. Unfortunately, however, I grinded it too much, so it's actually super glued into his arm now. Then he has they're modified robotic arm parts, arm decals, because I know that this version of Ghost Rider is supposed to be a robot that has a human soul or something in it. And he's got the torn sleeves, or ripped off sleeves, and a basic muscle design. Up in his neck area, however, there are some wires and stuff showing that it is metal. The skull is a light gray, and it is an actual Ghost Rider face print as well. And then he's got the basic flaming hairpiece that you can get on eBay if you buy a cheap knockoff of the official Legos Ghost Rider. The flaming hairpiece is able to be removed. That's how I've done all of the Ghost Rider transformations in the last 6 months. So I can't remember this guy's actual name. I know it starts with an A, but it's not Alejandra Blaze. I think that's the female Ghost Rider, the one who has the really cool armor looking thing, and then the bitchin' sword and whatnot. But like I said, I don't know much about Ghost Rider 2099, but I've always been fascinated with that version, or at least that design, because it's simple, but it's cool. So don't expect Ghost Rider 2099 to show up in a whole lot of videos until I know more about the character, that version of the character. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he's some serial killer or some guy or whatever who signed up for a Project Ghost thing, and that's what ends up turning him into the Ghost Rider, or a metal Ghost Rider. But like I said, I don't remember much about him, so If you guys know, please let me know so that way I don't screw up the character if I use him in the future. So that's basically it. So there's only a few other things I want to discuss, and then I will sign off. Okay. So now that that's all out of the way, I want to give you guys a quick update. So for those of you who don't want to hear any of this crap, go ahead and click off the video. But if you those of you who want to hear the plans for the future, then go ahead and stick around. So my plan for the next few months, weeks, whatever, I know Christmas is around the corner, and I'm going to have to start dealing with that before too long. So don't expect a whole lot of videos for the rest of this year. But I will do as many as I can when I have time to do it. So there are a couple of new characters in front. Obviously they're not new, but you've recognized them from past videos and stuff like that. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to redo Metalhead's origin story. I did not like the version that I did, or the one that I released not too long ago. It was too simple, and Metalhead has a slightly complicated origin story. So I'm going to redo it, and it's going to be a little bit longer than it was. It's still going to be the same thing. I'm not changing anything from it. It's still going to be basically the same thing. There are a few things that are going to be added to it, so that way it makes more sense. But there were a lot of aspects that I left out that I shouldn't have. So because of that, it's going to get redone. Probably closer to late November, early December. Then Thanos is here because I can't fit Megatron on screen right now, and I don't have Darkseid. But when I did the Superman versus Megatron video, when it was Superman versus Realities or whatever, I can't remember what the series was called off the top of my head, but there was a alternate future that Superman was transported to where the entire universe was taken over by Thanos, Darkseid, and Megatron, because all three of them had teamed up and used their armies to secure the entire universe. And apparently a lot of people actually enjoyed that idea and want to see it actually come to fruition. So once I get Darkseid, then then I will look into doing something like that. But at the moment, I can't do anything with that because I just simply don't have Darkseid. And then you have this shark character. It was supposed to be Cucamonga, the shark god, but that's ridiculous and fairly hard to remember. So for the hell of it, he's just going to be called King Shark because I wanted to create my own shark-based character, but it didn't really work, and everybody thinks it's King Shark anyway. So from now on, this character is going to be King Shark. This is going to be a big future series. No pun intended. Metalhead's going to get a new origin story, or a better telling of his origin story. Most of these characters are going to appear in future videos, and I don't know about him yet. So that's basically it. Other than that, the Gravity Man movie is still in the works, as well as a couple of other projects that I've had in the works for months, but couldn't do it. Because I didn't either have time or the funds or whatever to do it. So I'm trying to get some more stuff done. Once I have, a little bit more time, then you guys will obviously be the first people to know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all next time on Ultimate Deadpool. Peace out. You guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys all later. Bye.